Hello, everyone. We're live in Gamescom now, and we're gonna talk with the elusive Ed Boon. Elusive, I guess.
I didn't know I was elusive.
Well, the creator and what is considered maybe the father of the Mortal Kombat series. So, Ed, what can you tell us of what's the main objective you have with Mortal Kombat X? Is it just is it a revival after all the generation that passed, or is it more about bringing something new into a new story?
Well, I guess there's a number of ways to think of like what our goals were with Mortal Kombat. There's what do we want to do with the story, what do we want to do with gameplay, what do we want to do with graphics, and all that.
Right.
As far as revival of the game, what do we want to do? We want to introduce as much new content as we can to the game. Mortal Kombat 9 did really well for us. We're really excited about it, but we didn't want to just take that game and skin it with prettier graphics and make the same game. So we really tried to introduce as much new features, characters, and whatnot. The main kind of gameplay feature is these multiple variations of characters, 3 versions of every character that's in the game. Story-wise, our main thing we really wanted to do was kind of introduce new characters, a new generation of fighters, and so like some of the characters had children, and they're Mortal Kombat fighters now. So there's a lot of levels.
So there's now in the fighting scene, there's been a trend of like, because a lot of the other companies realize that the Middle East is quite getting popular with this. I mean, there's a very old community of Street Fighter and Tekken from the old days, and even recently Tekken introduced the sample of having an Arabic fighter. So do you think that actually something that could be probable, considering how how the Middle East is seen as a fighting people?
Sure.
Could it be something that you can consider adding to Mortal Kombat maybe in the future, like an Arabic influence fighter?
Sure. I mean, I think we've always tried to represent the whole range of people, in Mortal Kombat, and so I wouldn't imagine that we would be restricted to not doing any kind of character. So that's absolutely a possibility.
Right. And so all these alteration of fighting techniques basically gives you more. It almost creates like a new character.
Yeah.
Was that the main point of creating this, or it was more of trying to find a way of, on a competitive scene, to bring more people to have those people like think about the strategy of each alteration and not just the the preset combos of each person.
Yeah, exactly. We do think of them as entirely new characters. Like when you pick your character, you fight your entire fight with that variation that you selected. And fighting games are all about matchups. When you think of how does Scorpion match up with Raiden? How does Raiden match up with Sub-Zero? When you have 3 versions of every character, 3 Raidens, 3 Scorpions, 3 Sub-Zeros, and they all have different strategies and techniques, with them. Then all of a sudden you're thinking, how does Raiden A compare to Scorpion B compared to Sub-Zero C, and you get an idea of just how much more of an interesting matchups you're going to have. And so somebody who's really good with Scorpion, when he plays against another guy who he knows plays this version of Raiden, he's going to switch it up to this, the Hellfire Scorpion or something like that, just to kind of match up a little bit better, but he's sticking with the character that he's most familiar with. I'm really excited about how that's going to do with the kind of the tournament scene and all that stuff.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed is I felt like there's a lot of influence from what you guys learned by doing Injustice between the interactive stage and everything that you can control and how you can escape. So like those far edge escapes and even like using elements from the stage as weapons, as projectiles, for example. Is there anything else you guys are considering to bring from what you learned from the Injustice series?
You know, I think the I've always personally felt that, you know, the background to a fighting game has traditionally been just a painting. It's just a really pretty place to fight on, and it hasn't really changed a lot. So, you know, Injustice, we really dove in hard and saying, you know, it's going to be a major player in how you fight in the game. You know, there were interactive objects all over the place. You can knock players into different arenas altogether. This Mortal Kombat X doesn't go as far as that. We don't slam cars on people, and we're not throwing people over mountains. We're really it's mainly for maneuvering yourself on the arena, positioning yourself, escaping, like you had said, from a corner or something like that. And there are some components to attacks, like swinging a tree branch or throwing a log or something like that. But it's on a much smaller scale, and it's probably not as influential as it is in Injustice to the outcome of the fight.
Right. So you got anything else you want to add and you want to say to your Middle Eastern fans?
Well, we're excited that they love Mortal Kombat, and I think this is going to be our best Mortal Kombat. It's the variations of the characters, I really think is going to be a game changer. It's going to change a lot of how people look at matchups and fighting games, and so we're excited for people to get their hands on it when it comes out next year.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Ed. Thank you.
Finish her.